Hi, my name's Emily. I'm with the Williamsburg Branch of Clermont County Public Library. Several years ago, I had the opportunity to go to Los Angeles, and while I was there, I ate at a restaurant where a lot of the recipes featured sun-dried tomatoes, and this place had an awesome bread basket that they would bring out with your meal, and in addition to having several different types of bread in it, one of the butters they served was a sun-dried tomato-based butter. And since that trip, I got back and I was like, I want to recreate this experience. So I went looking for compound butter recipes featuring sun-dried tomatoes, and I actually found one on the website for the grocer Whole Foods. And what we're going to make today is that. It is a sun-dried tomato and basil compound butter. It's very easy, and I'll just show you the quick process to put it together. This recipe really doesn't involve a whole lot of ingredients. I do like to double it when I make it. You are going to need 8 tablespoons of unsalted butter. The butter needs to be softened, so make sure you get it out of the refrigerator about 30 minutes in advance. You'll also need 4 tablespoons of oil-packed sun-dried tomatoes, drained and finely chopped. You can find these julienne cut sun-dried tomatoes at the grocery store, so I like to start with those, and then I just get them down smaller in the food processor. Also, we're going to need 2 tablespoons of basil and a half teaspoon of salt, and then a dash of black pepper. Having made this recipe several times, I've come to the conclusion that it's easier to combine all of the ingredients except for the butter first, and then add the butter afterwards. So I have got the sun-dried tomatoes, the basil, and the salt and pepper all here in the food processor, and I'm going to blend it together. Okay, so I usually give it a go until the chunks of tomato are fairly small and you've got a pretty good blend. At this point, I'm going to put in our butter. Again, since I doubled the recipe, this is 8 tablespoons or half a cup of butter. I'm just going to use a knife here and break it into smaller slices. Okay. And push it down a little bit near the blades. We'll give this a go. When it looks like it's getting close, the butter won't be as obvious, but I like to poke around with a knife and make sure that all the chunks are actually blended in. In this case, we've still got a little more to do. Okay, I'm going to check again. And it looks like everything's pretty well blended. Let me show you what that looks like. So you'll see that the color has lightened and the ingredients all look very blended together, and you don't see any chunks of butter anymore. So now I am going to scoop this out into a small Tupperware container so I can get it into the refrigerator to chill. So at this point, I've got all the butter just packed into a small container, and I'm going to put a lid on it and put it in the refrigerator. The recipe says you want to give it at least 15 minutes at minimum, up to 2 hours to chill and let the flavors mingle before you serve it. Usually I'm just making it in advance, so I let it go overnight. And the butter will firm up some and the flavors taste really great together. So that's really all there is to this recipe. Very easy. Now, our sun-dried tomato basil butter has had an opportunity to chill for a couple hours in the refrigerator, so I just wanted to give you an opportunity to see what it looked like on a very little bitty piece of bread. Okay, and if your bread's warm, it gets nice and melty on there too, although this is cooled off a bit. Alright, there you go. We've got our nice buttered piece of bread. You can still see some small chunks of the sun-dried tomato, and I guarantee you it is mighty tasty. Well, I hope you enjoyed seeing how to make sun-dried tomato basil butter. Very quick and simple, as I promised. It tastes great on bread, of course, which was the inspiration for making it in the first place. I have also used it as a topper for other things, like just making some spaghetti and throwing in some of this sun-dried tomato butter with it and mixing the two together. I've used this butter on baked potatoes. I've spread it on top of some chicken that I just cooked. I'm sure you can think of other great ways. It could probably get added to some vegetable dishes and taste wonderful. So give it a try, and you can hope you enjoy it. If, again, always check back at Clermont County Public Library for lots of great cookbooks if you would like to explore further and make all kinds of other different recipes and find all kinds of things that you could add your sun-dried tomato basil butter to. Thanks for watching.